Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Cahill and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be discussing 2022, which is very much almost upon us. As per, I guess, the Authortube tradition, I will be going through my writing plans for 2022 and talk about some of the changes I'm going to make in my writing life and personal life, I guess, also going forward into the new year. Now, I tend to give myself a sort of theme for the year every single year. I don't quite know why. I think it's sort of like something I want to aspire to in the coming year as a sort of reminder or resolution almost. And this is what we are going to be doing this year. This is what I want to focus on. And most of the time I will sort of look back over the year that's just gone, think about what I did well, what I did badly, you know, mistakes I made or things I want to improve on, and then going forward the theme will be addressing those issues that I had. My theme for 2022 is very simple because I want to try and keep it simple this year. My theme is create, routine, morale and stories. They're the things I want to focus on the most. You know, creating is such a big thing for me personally. I think it's just one of those words that really sort of describes me and what I do. And routine, obviously, I don't have a routine. I need a routine. I need to sort of regularly start doing my writing and living my life as it should be lived, rather than me just going day by day like I'm really not bothered to do any work and just not doing anything and falling behind and stressing out, and we don't need any of that. I have 3 kids at school. My youngest is going to be full-time at preschool starting from whatever date it is in January, so I will have plenty of time to myself without having to worry about doing other things, in order for me to sort of really finalize and create some sort of routine that works for me in the hours that I don't have anything else that I need to focus on, aka kids or work. Morale is a big thing that I need to focus on as well, mostly for me, my own morale, personally, to myself, because I can have a very bad habit of getting down on myself about a lot of things, whether that is how I'm growing my channels or how I am interacting with people in the community or how they are interacting with me in the community. And I have high expectations for myself, which I know aren't going to happen, and you know, when it doesn't happen I get let down a little bit, and then I get down on myself, and then that just affects my entire writing whatever. So I need to definitely work on pushing myself up instead of pulling myself down during those moments. And of course, stories is a big one. We do need to actually focus on the writing as well. There's nothing too specific with stories that I need to do. I just need to keep doing what I am doing, really, which is writing and replotting and rewriting and revising and etc. Each and every year I will give myself yearly writing goals to achieve, and I'll give myself personal goals to achieve, and then every single month, based on my yearly goals, I'll give myself monthly goals in order to complete. I have very much happily made the decision that I'm not going to have goals this year, because as I have sort of figured out from this past year, goals do not work for me, not anymore. At least they didn't last year, and I don't know quite what the problem was. It's probably something to do with my whole state of mind. That was last year. I struggled a lot. Still a little bit struggling now, but we're gonna push that aside and focus on the things we need to focus on. I would give myself goals for the month, and goal is a strong word. Goals is one of those words which is like deadline. You have to have this completed. You've set yourself this goal. It is something that has to be completed. So I would set myself goals each month. They would range from do this specific bit for writing, read a book, go to bed early, you know, take more walks outside. And I would be happy with the amount of goals I gave myself. I never gave myself more than 4. And then I would not do these goals. and then I would feel bad about the fact that I have not done these goals, and I would, you know, get down on myself about the fact that I have not done these goals when I had plenty of time to get these goals done. And then I would give myself new goals for the month and go, you know what, I'm going to try even harder this next month to do these goals. And then I would not do the goals, and then again the cycle continues. I'd feel really bad about myself for not completing these goals, which just made everything else worse, etc, etc, and so on and so forth, rinse and repeat. No, that doesn't work. No matter how many times I did these goals, I soon got into the sort of habit of going, I didn't do them last month, nothing happened, I just won't do them this month either, which is besides the point. This is not what we make goals for. Goals are too difficult for me to manage. I can't sort of give myself a set deadline for things, because then I sort of get into a very, very bad sort of routine of leaving it and then struggling and, you know, sort of forcing myself to then make up what I haven't done in order to finish on time, which is something I want to avoid. So instead of the word goals in 2022, we are going to use the word focus. So there are certain things I want to focus on in 2022. Focus is a much easier word. It's not as strong, it's not as forceful. As long as I do something towards this focus every single month, I can call it a win. I can't call it a lose as long as I have done something to it. So if I want to focus 1 month on reading, you know, it's not read a book. No matter if I read an entire book, if I read a chapter, if I read a page in that month, I can consider that focus done. I have focused on reading. Reading is something that I have been very terrible at. At least before December, I've read a good couple of books this month, so yay for that. So I want to give myself a little bit more flexibility and give myself a little bit more of an allowance to not do the work, or not feel like I'm being forced to do the work in order to fulfill a goal. Rather, it's going to be things that I can flexibly focus on throughout the month. If I don't get it done one day, it's fine, it doesn't matter. I don't have a set goal I need to complete. I can do something, you know, at another time. So of course, with my 3 categories within my create theme, I have 4 categories within my focus that I want to focus on this year. 3 of them, of course, are part of routine, morale and stories. And then I have a miscellaneous one, which is sort of everything else, which didn't quite fit into the first 3 categories that I want to focus on this year. So for routine, I want to focus on creating a routine, obviously, scheduling my creativity, self-care and fitness. Fitness. But by scheduling, I mean making sure that I make time for things like journaling, I make time for, you know, maybe doodling in my bullet journal or just doodling on my iPad if need be. I miss doodling. Doodling is fun. Do more reading, and making sure that I schedule a time per week to actually do these things and then actually do these things. And I also want to focus on forming helpful habits. And by helpful habits, I mean things that can vary month from month. Things like doing chores at a specific time, which I think would be helpful. Reorganizing my desk regularly, which I think would be helpful. Going to bed early or waking up early, which I think would be very helpful. Things like that, little things that I can make changes to in my life, which I feel would help me live my best productive day. You know, for morale, I want to focus on journaling more often. I have a journal. I did a vlog where I tried journaling for a month, and then that was the most that I journaled. But I remember enjoying it. I remember having fun writing down my frustrations and everything in this journal and sort of getting it all out onto the page, because I keep things to myself. I don't talk about anything that's troubling me or anything like that. So it was nice to be able to get it down in the journal and it sort of free my mind up a little bit. So I want to make sure I do journal more often. Also, it's a helpful writing exercise. I want to focus on looking at my past and not my present. As a writer, I sort of tend to think more about the present and the future, and sort of wallow in my misery about the fact that my present and thus my future is not what I want it to be, rather than looking back at my past and everything that I have achieved so far, which is good, positive things, to see how far I've come. So I need to make more of a habit of doing that. I also want to focus on affirmations in 2022. I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. I don't know whether I'm going to, I don't know, get like a set of affirmations and read one each day, or have a list of affirmations to sort of tell myself each and every day or each and every week, or when I'm feeling down on myself. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do affirmations yet, but it's definitely something that I want to focus more on to sort of keep up the positivity that I need to, you know, do stuff. For stories, I have made the decision, and I made this decision for 2021 and then promptly did not do this. I want to only focus on novels that I have already written. I want to focus on replotting and rewriting and revising a set group of novels rather than focus on writing anything new, because I have too many that I want to get done that I'm not putting all of my focus onto. So those are, of course, the Abingdon House series, Project Mystic, aka Osaseoit, Beneath the Hawthorn Lies, and Project Theft, which I didn't originally have Project Theft. In this sort of group of stories I wanted to work on, I thought I had shelved that novel. But then I was thinking about the characters, and I was thinking about the story, and I was thinking about how much I enjoyed the story, and how it's not actually possibly as bad of a base of a story as I want it to be, because it's going to be a series. So I want to focus more attention on sort of the series side of Project Theft and working on that to sort of bring it back. So they are the 4 projects that I want to work on this year, which is about 5, 6, 7, 10 stories technically, if I include the entire 3 novels for Project Theft and the 5 for Abingdon House. Of course, I won't be working on all 10 of these separate novels in 2022, but there's a lot of series work I need to do, which encompasses 8 stories in total. So they are the 4 that I'm going to focus on. I don't know how I'm going to focus on them at the moment. I usually sort of pick one sort of novel a month to work on and focus on, because I don't like flipping between them too often. I might try flipping between them day by day, week by week this year, just to see how it goes, just to see if it can help my motivation a little bit when I'm tired of working on one project. I don't have to stop. I can just sort of move on to another. I might bring my box back into it actually. It's filled with Ferrero Rocher at the moment. It is Christmas. This is one of my Christmas presents. But my box, what I might do is write down all my projects and put them in the box, and then I just pick one if I want to work on something, and well, you know what, we'll see how it goes. But they are my projects that I'm going to be focusing all my energies and creative attention on this year. So that brings us to our 4th category, which is miscellaneous. This year 2022, I want to focus on reading. Of course I do. Every single year, one of the writing goals I give myself is to read 12 books. That is 1 book per month, which for me is more than doable, because I can very easily read a book in a day if I give it my full attention, or if I happen to vlog it as I do it. It's not a difficult thing for me to read a book in a day. It should be more than doable for me to read a book in a month. Every year I fail this goal. So while I still technically have that goal, it's just to focus more on reading. I got bored this month when I had some work to do. I was away from my computer, away from the internet. So I brought a book with me. So far this month I have read Witches Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart. It took me an awfully long time to read that book. There was something about the style that I didn't like. It didn't read well for me, and something about the story just, it was okay. It wasn't the best. I was disappointed because I had very high hopes for the book. But we've done that, we've read that. I don't need to struggle through that book anymore. And I am about 3/4 of the way through All the Tides of Fate by Adeline Grace, which is the sequel to All the Stars and Teeth, which is pirates and mermaids and magic and stuff like that. It's okay. I'm also a little bit disappointed with this one as well. Look, books give me a fantastic premise, and then they don't live up to the premise on the back of the book, and it disappoints me. But I have a beautiful stack of books on my TBR list for next year. There are currently 2 missing that I have recently ordered from Amazon and haven't arrived yet. So I have a fantastic, please don't disappoint me, any of you, because you all sound so good, pile of books to read this year. And I'm actually very, very excited to get back into reading. I've had a lot of fun over the past, well, it was last week when I was reading the books. I had a lot of fun. Like, I realised how much I'd missed reading. So definitely going to focus on that more this year and hope that it becomes a consistent habit for me to actually read some books. The second thing I want to focus on for miscellaneous is learning the craft. I don't feel like I need to really learn anything, but it's mostly indirect peer pressure, I must say, and it's not even really peer pressure. It's more like everyone else is doing it and I'm not, and I feel left out. Reading craft books. Yeah, I want to, read some craft books this year just to see what it's all about, to see if there is anything which can sort of help me with anything that I might be struggling with in regards to how I write or how I revise or how I plot and outline, etc., etc. And there are tons of craft books out there. So if anybody has any recommendations, not Stephen King, because I don't like Stephen King, not Save the Cat, because I've read that. But any other craft books that you guys might, recommend, especially regarding characters and plot, send them my way. The third thing I want to focus on this year is growing my audience. I really, really, really want to hit 1,000 followers on Authortube in 2022. 2022 will mark the beginning of my 4th year on Authortube. It has been my goal, like, every year since the 1st of January 2019, and I've just been so slow in growing my viewers and subscribers, and I really want to do what I can in order to hit that milestone this year. It's gonna be this year. I said that at the beginning of 2021, but 2022 is going to be this year. I also want to focus growing my audience over on Twitch, which we're doing okay with once I get back to live streaming. I don't know, it's just one of those things that's been getting me down, how slowly my channel's been growing. Obviously that's something that I can't quite control, but I do want to put a lot more focus in it this year because I know I can do it. I know I can hit the milestone. I just gotta figure out how. And the fourth thing for miscellaneous that I want to focus on this year is finding critique partners, which is, again, another thing that I find really, really difficult to do. And, I want to be a part of, I want to have, 1 or 2 or 3, really close writing friends who we all share our work with each other and we all push each other constantly and, help each other out with characters and plot and stories and things like that. And I have never had that in my entire sort of life as a writer or ever since I've been on social media. And I'm missing out a little bit, and communication isn't the best thing for me. I suck at it immensely, but I do need to focus a little bit more on getting that sorted this year and sort of finding my group of people. 2022 is my year, basically, is what I'm saying to the universe, and screw the universe if it does not happen. I also want to focus more on sort of living life as a full-time writer, because my goal is to ultimately be published, and obviously being published means you'll have to work full-time on your writing. I want to sort of get into that habit now. And again, this is something I said at the beginning of 2021, and I started really strongly with this in 2021. But I need to focus more on, my productivity during the day and actually getting work done. Fumbled it towards the end of the year, unfortunately. I have more of a plan this year for it, and I will focus on writing 5 days of the week. And then I will sort of have 2 days off, like 2 planned days off, to have the break that I need, which will be Thursdays and Saturdays, because I work all day on Thursdays and most Saturdays, and I don't want to have to write after I finish work particularly. So that is sort of like my plan going forward for that, which I hope will work and stick and keep me productive, all without burning myself out, which happens quite a bit. 2021 was difficult for writing, and I'm hoping that 2022 is going to be a little bit better. So those were my plans for 2022. Let me know down in the comments below what are your goals or focuses for the new year. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Good thoughts and happy writing.